Hello and welcome to Anton's TV. My name is Jack Jesper. He's the frickin' Maltese Falcon. Woo. And it's been 1 week. It's been 1 week since you looked. You probably don't even know that song. You know that song, Fal? No, okay. Anyway, it's been a week since I filmed a video getting this out of the box. I promised that I'd spend a week with it and learn about it. Let's find out if I did. Spoiler alert, I didn't learn much about it. I'm moving house, forgive me, all those things. And some other things happened in the week since I made that video. One, it's only been uploaded for 1 day, so it came out last night. So what I'm thinking in this video is I'm gonna look at the comments that you've put in there and answer those comments. Also in the week, please go watch Starsky Carr. He did an incredible video going through every aspect of it, and I don't want to repeat that. I can't do any better than that. So go watch Starsky Carr. And the awesome guys on the Oberheim channel, one of the original designers, I forget his name when it comes to mind, but just fabulous videos. So this is gonna answer your questions, and I might at the end tell you how I felt, because I did have a few days playing with it and kind of fell in love. So let's answer the questions. 205 comments, Falcon, in 23 hours. Oh, fingers crossed. Here we go. Top comments. My therapist has told me not to try overshare so much, so I will not tell. Oh yeah, because I mentioned about the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Toilet gang, gang, gang. Here we go. Let's look for questions. Mark, 22 hours ago. Curious about Jack's take on value versus price, maybe in comparison to some of the other top shelf synths. She's a pricey beast. Bravo. Thanks, Mark. My take on it, value versus price. We were having a chat before, the Falcon and I. As the longer I do this, I'm looking for purchases personally that kind of end things. They end the search. They end the questions. And I think that this falls into one of those categories. Like, if you come to my studio and I've got this, I don't think you're gonna say, why didn't you buy that? It kind of just like, wow, you've got that. And I feel that with loads of bits of gear that it's kind of worth, if you've got doubts about it, it's probably worth holding on, saving up more and just getting the real dealio. Lots of lovely comments, thank you. Nice, Dan, thank you, mate. Loved how you dealt with acknowledging the prior fiasco. Let's have a look, boss. Loads of people on the toilet. Come on, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. There's no shame, it's cool. It's good. We need to talk, men need to talk more.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Danica, no way. Jim, this is the start of one of the videos. Oh, Jim Danica, respect, man. He's an awesome keyboard player, this guy. I always feel ashamed when I see that. Someone, I forget that other people watch it. Andre Vejdani, 13 hours ago. Hey Jack, from all the synths you tested, which is the one you liked the most? In all the years I've tested, still the UDO Super 6. If I've got to go for that first reaction, UDO Super 6, the recent Prophet 10. Main question, octave range. Good name. Main question, how does it compare to an OB6? Should you upgrade, and is the OBX8 worth almost double that of an OB6? I've used the OB6 a few times. I've been around people that own it, and all I'll say is if I had an OB6, I wouldn't be swapping it out for this. I think the OB6 does exactly what you want. It almost sounds more Oberheimy and vintage to me. Like, especially I do a lot of stuff where people want to cop the Weekend. I think you can cop all the Weekend tunes with that. But again, like, there's something about this. There's something about it, yeah. And we'll play some sounds in a minute. Ben Tanzi, 22 hours ago. No hate from me, thank you, Ben. The OBX8 is sounding incredible. You mentioned a few times how sensitive the keybed is. I'd love to hear how velocity and aftertouch can be used to affect different parameters. I also want to know about the modulation options. Is this an instrument for expansive sound design like the Polybrute or Novation Summit, or a modern recreation of a vintage classic? What are we getting for nearly $5 grand? Ben, so many questions in there, and I think I can answer them. You mentioned a few times how sensitive the keybed is. I'd love to hear how velocity and aftertouch. Right, I set up this patch just before we started going. that's derivative of this preset that essentially changed my life called Car Plucks, which is group 7. And I really felt the magic of it a few nights ago and was lost. I love it. But check out how sensitive the key bed is to velocity. And how smooth that is. One of the things I've found is, sorry, aftertouch there. There's so much in it. And I've got to be so delicate. I would love to own it because I think you'd really dial into it and almost could do a whole pass on a song and just dig in a bit harder. Where you can see that it's so sensitive that sometimes I can't control it, but I think you'd master that. In terms of what can you control with it, on the front panel, it's really simple. You either have this touch button, so after touch, and it can either control the filter, or we can make it do the mod, or we can have it doing both. And the same with velocity. I love that. Now, Starsky Carr, go watch his video when on the in-depth stuff. There's a lot here in the page 2. I'm not going to get into that, but on the front panel, it's as simple as that. I also want to know about the modulation options. Is this an instrument for expansive sound design? I'm not the guy to talk about, obviously, about expansive sound design. One thing about the modulation in here is that on the front panel, again, I love it. I love how it's all quite subtle though. I'd say that you can do big dollops of things. That's maxed out. And I've got the vintage knob cranked there. And you can hear how that all falls back into tune. I love it though, cranked up, check out. The scaling on the vintage stuff is amazing for me and is everything I dreamed of. You've got these, but also again in page 2, as I understand it, you can adjust the onset of the LFO, so it's a bit deeper than you think in there. Again, go watch Starsky Carr. Are you getting a modern recreation of a vintage classic? Yes. It feels like that way. It feels like I could just live up here. I've loved the simplicity of it. I almost don't want to get into the added bits of it because I'm starting to fall in love with the kind of raw ingredients of it. Synth Singer. 9 hours ago, do some 80s funk pop stabs with vibrato in higher range. Let's do it. This one's for you, Synth Singer. So there, I went into page 2 to delay the onset of the modulation. That's how I could get that. Nice. Page 2 goodness. Thanks, Starsky Carr, for showing it to me. Old Colwyn Noise Brigade. Literally just sat here having a poo whilst watching this. Edit. Just watching, and I can't help thinking that it has a very similar timbre to the Medusa. Is that me? I don't think so. Siri Taki, 17 hours ago, used the vintage knob. Let's do it. Minimum vintageness. Maximum vintage. Minimum again. maximum. Halfway. Minimum vintage. Hopefully that gave you a flavour of what it's doing. There's a lot of resonance on there, and I think it's very tastefully done.
I agree.
I like it. I think that doesn't, for me, I'm quite sensitive to the tuning. Not saying I'm like perfect pitch or nothing, but I think that could pass. It's not falling to bits like some vintage modes. Anyway, there we are. Is it nearly the same as the Behringer UBXA and or original Oberheim OBXA? John O'Spiro in a warm bath that's dangerously close to becoming a toilet, if you know what I mean. My man. Oh man, and Synth Punk made such a lovely video defending me about the Behringer. Respect Synth Punk. Love you, mate. Please do Africa Toto Patch, but very well, by Rally Music. Oh, but God, thank goodness for the internet, because Truman B. Chrysler comes in and says, Africa is a Prophet 5, bruh. Yeah, thank you, mate. Thanks for saving me. VCFX, is there a need for another synth? Synthpunk is like, nope, this is it. He's definitely all in. We've had a bit of a revelation on it this morning, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
There is a bit of magic in there. I implore you to just try one. Andertons, we've got them out to play. Might even show you the setup we've got at the moment, because we've got this and a couple Prophets. That might be nice to splice in, but really go try it and don't listen to me. If you've got enough money to buy one, get it sent to you and try it out. There's a good refund exchange policy. I know you've got to have a lot of money to kind of get in the game for it, but if you've got that money, you might as well just get it and try it out. That's the good bit about Andertons. Thank you so much for those questions and all the kind comments and letting everyone know that you're on the toilet. I respect that. I respect it. Just to surmise my week with it, I got it on Tuesday, so I've only had a few days with it. And what happened is at the end of each day, I sat down at it and I'd flick through the presets. And the big thing I learned from it is you can be very heavy-handed in how you edit these presets and just do big dollops of everything and it not fall apart. And I think it sounds better for that. I think it's very subtle. And that was my take on it. I'll try to demonstrate. I fell in love with this patch called Car Plugs. If you can't hear that stereo stuff, the way that it manages the voice panning in this was where I went, whoa. I had my headphones on at home and was like, crikey. But that was a little bit clicky for me at the beginning. So let's start fiddling with it. So I've softened up the attack. I'm going to send a lot of this to the envelope. Crank the resonance. Put a bit of release on. Bring that down. Release down a bit. I kind of like that muted sound of it. Now, if I want to get more attitude in there, check out these different filter types. Very different. And again, maximum resonance, no resonance. But I can dime that. Same with the modulations. Crank that modulation. Let's take that off touch and bring that right down. So singing, so I've got no envelope on there. Let's bring in the sample and hold and put that on the filter. Bring in that filter touch and I'm going to crank the vintage knob. Bit less vintage. Release on there. Yeah, I could do that all night. And that song, if you don't know, Beth Rest by Bon Iver, one of my favorites. When I played it, I know that isn't the sound, but that feeling of this keyboard is an emotional feeling for me anyway. It makes me want to play very simple, stark harmony, you know, fist in the air. That's the vibe of the 80s. I get it now. It's like, you just want to have like Don Henley steaming around in a car and singing or Bryan Adams. Freaking love it. Nice one, Oberheim. Thanks so much for watching. And remember, we've got a giveaway for anyone. If you're a past subscriber or a new subscriber, if you're there as we hit 100,000, you are going to be in the running for some dope prizes from Novation. We've got another video on that. Thank you, Falcon, and I'll see you soon.